What is up everyone? Today I've got something really quick to show you guys. I'm basically going to share an experience on camera because I am genuinely intrigued about the contents of this box. So to rewind a little bit and give a bit of backstory, here is a boxed copy of Banjo Tooie for the Nintendo 64. Now if you take a look at this box, if I just show you all the sides and the back and the front, you can see that it is in very good condition. It is a complete in-box game with the manual. Manual and cartridge are also in really good condition. Pretty much the biggest thing to note is this general sort of scuffing on the top, which is very minimal damage for a Nintendo 64 game box. So this box and the game, the whole thing, came from CEX. And it was a gift from Jess for me for my birthday 2 years ago, I believe. And it was a risk that she took because generally boxed games from CEX are cheaper than eBay. So the way that it works on their website is when you browse for an N64 game, if we just browse for Banjo Tooie, I'll overlay some shots, you get the cartridge only for X amount, then you get the boxed game, and then you get what they refer to as mint. So this, in my book, is approaching kind of mint. I mean, it's not mint, it's not completely minty, but it is very nearly, you know, what I would call mint, to be perfectly honest, folks, considering the state that some of these boxes come in. And this wasn't a mint game from their website, it was just a boxed game. So what I'm trying to get across is this is a very good condition copy of the game for not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. It's an expensive game now. I think it's gone up a little bit since Jess purchased it. It was expensive back then as well. I mean, this one's been sort of on the kind of upper end of the price scale for a while now for the N64. But when you're looking at games, they tend to be more expensive on eBay. Even though obviously the advantages are very, very clear. You get a picture of the actual item, you know exactly what the box is going to look like. So this is what this whole thing is about. It's about risk. Now in this box here I have two N64 games, two boxed N64 games. What I've decided to do, I've got no interest in collecting a complete boxed N64 collection or anything like that. You know, it's just if you're a collector and that's your main hobby, then it's a wonderful thing to do. But for me personally, collecting is only a very small part of what I do. You know, I'm not really a collector at heart. So what I've decided to do is just get a few of my favourite N64 games, replace my cart-only versions with boxed versions. So I currently have probably about 15, maybe 20 boxed N64 games, and I'm looking to replace a couple more of my games with the boxed versions. So in here, I've got a copy of Turok 1 and Turok 2. I really like the Turok games and I like N64 shooters in general, so I am going to focus on shooters for a good few months, try and find some deals and stuff. But what I wanted to do is just give these a go because they were a tenner each, and even though Turok isn't an expensive game on the N64 boxed, a tenner is still much cheaper, well, or a little bit cheaper than what you'd be looking to spend on eBay. So if I wanted Turok in this kind of condition from eBay, 1 and 2, it would be more expensive than 20 quid for the both. So let's give this a go. I wonder if we're going to get this kind of condition. I'm really excited to find out. If we do, I'm going to be a very happy man and I'll risk purchasing from CEX again. If not, we will talk about that in a minute, I guess. Okay, so at the moment, there's one hell of a rattle. Packaging is absolutely shocking by the feel of it, and also by the look of it. You know, you think this is actually a much worse packing job than what you'd get from, say, a private eBay seller. Right then, guys, so here are the two boxed games. Now, first complaint, they're wrapped together. Second complaint is there's only one layer of bubble wrap around them. It really looks like it's come from a complete noob eBay seller and not, you know, a very successful chain of British shops. Don't even know if they are British, but they're very prominent here in the UK, especially at the moment. And for us kind of retro gamers, it's always a bit risky going in there. You never quite know what you're going to get, especially ordering online. So, okay, I can already see some stuff already. Oh dear. Okay, folks, okay. Here we go. Come on. By the way, I already own a boxed copy of Turok 3, so that's another reason why I was interested in getting these to complete the trilogy of mainstream Turok games on the console as well, in boxed form. So, okay, let's put Seeds of Evil to the side for now, because we'll look at them one at a time. Now then, here we have the boxed copy of the game. Now, as you folks can see, it's fairly squashed on the top, and because it's squashed, it's kind of bowed out on the side here. Bit of fluffing on that corner, bit of fluffing on this corner. Very loose, flappy feeling lid. There's actually a rip there as well, which is very fragile. Colour-wise, it looks to be good. There's no fading around the box that I can see. Closing the box is definitely not very satisfying. There's not a lot of shape left to this end of the packaging at all. By looking at the cover then, if I reflect it in the light, you guys can see that there's some significant squashing here, and also it's squashed on the edge here, and there's a rip, quite a substantial rip there underneath where it says PAL version. Squashing on the bottom end here, and also not quite as bad as the other side, but a good bit of fluffing around the edge here, folks. So that is the condition of the box. Now, the overall kind of look is still fairly presentable. It does make me think, what kind of condition was this in when it was first traded in? Because it looks pretty squashed up, you know. Makes you wonder, how do they store these? How gentle are they when they pack them up? All these questions spring to mind. So let's open the very loose flap of the box and take a look at the contents. So there's the empty inside of the box. So let's inspect the cartridge first of all. Or should we leave that till the last? No, let's inspect the cartridge now. So hang on one second, folks. I'm going to go and fetch my copy of Turok Dinosaur Hunter. Okay, so I've been to get my copy of the game. Now, this is the copy that I got from the box, and this is my copy that I've had for years and years and years and years. I am pretty certain this is a genuine game. It just... I don't know, mind. It seems lighter. Or whether that's just my imagination. Now, luckily, I have a knockoff N64 cartridge to hand. Unfortunately, this is a particularly bad knockoff, so it's kind of obvious to spot that it's a fake. Firstly, you can feel that it's a fake. The label is super shiny, as you can see. That's about the shine you should have on an N64 label. You can see how much more shiny that label is. Also, you can tell straight away from the contacts on the back. Contacts should be more brownish than white on most N64 games. And then you can tell Nintendo logo on the back is just completely wrong on this one. Not to mention the fact that it's got the incorrect labels on it, considering it's meant to be a PAL cartridge. You can feel it straight up as well. The grey is also different, ever so slightly, but that's a particularly bad one. This, yeah, I think this is a real cart. This is a real cart. I'm just paranoid, and it's in such better condition than mine that when I first got it out of the box, it looked fake because of how sort of new it looks. I mean, I'll be able to tell straight away if I open it up, but since shifting my room, I've got no idea where my game bit is at this current moment in time. Yeah, okay, we'll come back to this maybe, but as you can see, this might be a slightly newer print of the game as well, because it has the 15 rating on it, whereas this one does not. So, you know, cool, swings and roundabouts. We'll take that for what it is. It's come with the black box insert, which the black plastic one as opposed to the white cardboard one, which I think is the proper one that it should have come with. Let's put my copies off to the side. And then here we have the manual, which is gorgeous actually. It's in nice condition. A little bit of a bend here, but yeah, a little bit of bending up there as well. But yeah, the manual's in great nick. Really, really nice. So overall, did I save by buying this game? Probably not. It was a tenner for each of these, and there was also £3 postage. So, because it's 150. Ooh, look at this. Look at this then, folks. That's half the reason why this box is so loose feeling. It's missing a tab. Missing a tab on this side. Deduct a big point for that. So, did I save? No, I did not, because if there was a Turok Dinosaur Hunter on eBay in this condition, it would probably go for around a tenner. So, thumbs down for the first attempt. Right then. Second attempt, here we go. And by the way, when I say thumbs down for the first attempt, CEX, in all fairness to them, aren't saying at any point that this is a mint game. And this is a perfectly acceptable box copy. It's just not quite as nice as this one, where we got particularly lucky. So, am I blaming the shop here? I'm really not, especially if that's a genuine cart, which I'm 95% sure it is. It does say 15 on the box as well. Yeah, I think this is a fine copy. So, you know, not blaming them whatsoever. I was just wondering if I would be this lucky again. So, you know, I just wanted to put that out there because, in all fairness, they've stuck to all of their promises. If I wanted a mint one, then I should buy a mint one, even though there's no option for a mint Turok Dinosaur Hunter currently on their website. Right then, let's take a look at this one. So, we have got a similar sort of story. Let's try and close this up to try and get a better idea. These ones with the built-in inserts are always tougher because they're always tougher to close because the manuals and stuff get tangled up. Let's close that. No, it's not happening, guys. I'm gonna have to remove the contents and rejig it a bit. So, looking at condition of this one, I can feel on the front that it is quite flat. It's been flattened then, squashed. Kind of always hard to show on camera. That sort of thing. But you can see from the bulging of the sides anyway, I'd say that it's slightly worse than this one squash-wise. But then again, it's more forgiving with Seeds of Evil because this is a matte textured box. So when it's squashed, you don't get quite as much of this kind of wrinkling effect here where the printing chips away. It still looks okay, but it is squashed. This side, we've got some tape, nice condition end here. Bit of fluffing on the corner, nothing too bad. Tape, yeah, that doesn't really bother me. I'm not one to really get bothered by tape. Back looks nice, just squashed, just as squashed as the front. You can see it down the bottom there. Tape on this side as well. But yeah, that's the box. It's got both of its flaps this time, which is good. A bit of a rip up there once again, but kind of to be expected. So let's take a look at the contents of the box. It's got built-in insert, like I said, so that's cool. You know where you stand with those. So this time we've got some Acclaim literature, and it's kind of nice to see all of this included, which is really cool. We've also got the stuff that came with all the N64 games, so it's a little bit more complete documentation-wise than the Dinosaur Hunter, copy of Dinosaur Hunter, but I'm never quite sure what's meant to be included with each game. You know, this is an early game, so I'm not too sure. You gotta love this one. Ever wanted more power under the hood? Explaining a little bit about the expansion pack there. You gotta love that, haven't you? Before and after. Look at that comparison, folks. Come on, my God, expansion pack. Right, yeah. Here's the manual, and yeah, lovely condition. Really nice, actually. Significantly thinner manual and less impressive than Dinosaur Hunter, but still in good condition. And here's the game. So, this is Turok 2 Seeds of Evil. This is a genuine cart. It looks and feels really good without a shadow of a doubt. Let's compare it to my copy, which, once again, apologies for the noise of the rain in the background, guys. We'll have to get used to it. Once again, this cartridge is in significantly nicer condition than my cartridge. I'm going to really have to see what this footage turns out audio-wise, because, oh, for God's sake. I'm just going to talk louder in the hope that this isn't too distracting, guys, with the rain. Yeah, as you can see, because these have been cart only for so long, you get better condition out of the ones that have been in the box. So yeah, this looks a lot nicer on both front and back labels. So really pleased with that, and we've got the 15 certificate sticker on it, which is really nice. So yeah, overall pleased with Turok 2 Seeds of Evil. Yeah, so coming out the other side of this, I've got kind of a middle of the road feeling. What I'm going to do now is grab some box protectors, and what a box protector can do is sometimes get a little bit of a better shape to the box. So lots of good news really since boxing up these games. It only took me about 3 minutes, and the rain has blown over and the sun has come out, so we've got slightly better lighting and better audio. So one good thing, like I was trying to say in the last clip, about the box protectors, you know, love them or hate them, when you put a slightly beaten up box into a box protector, it does give it somewhat of a new lease of life. So even though you can still see that the box is squashed and whatnot, the whole thing feel-wise then, and, you know, looks to a certain extent, feels and looks more complete and nicer. So it keeps them all uniform on the shelf, it stops them flopping about all over the place, and ultimately the box protector should, in theory, protect the game a little bit more over the years. I did bring my copy of Turok 3 to compare, and yeah, I mean, you know, we're talking quite similar condition here. It's not as squashed. And I was chuffed to find this on eBay because this is significantly more expensive than the first two games because of how late in the N64's life it came out. This isn't as squashed, but it has its own problems. You know, it's got this sticker on the front, and although I don't usually mind stickers because they're part of the character and the history and things like that, so that sort of thing doesn't really bother me. I will say that this one really does wind me up because it's ripped a little bit of the artwork and it's right over the top of the gorgeous N64 logo. But check this out. We have got Turok 1, 2 and 3 all boxed up, looking lovely. So I'm pretty chuffed with that, guys. Now, final conclusions. We will probably give CEX another go for some boxed games because these are by no means bad enough for me to try and sell them on once again and, you know, try for a nicer copy. If I was to do that with a game of this condition, I think it would be getting a little bit of an obsession at that point, which, as I said previously, is absolutely fine. If this is a big hobby for somebody and they want a minty collection, then go for it, by all means. I've got no problem with people that want to do that, but that's just not me. I want to get these boxed because they'll mean a little bit more. I just fancy them boxed on the shelf, you know? There's just something about them packed up like this. It makes it feel more complete. It makes it feel just nicer. Gives you a little bit of something to put on display, you know? A heap of cartridges on the shelf, especially counterfeit ones, but no, a heap of cartridges on the shelf with no labels or anything. There's nothing really to put on show there, but these are lovely, and it's not gonna, they're just gonna keep going up and up, I think. So, about the whole experience with CEX, it's quick delivery, their website is great, and you sort of know what you're going to get, or at least now I've got a little bit of a better idea of what I'm going to get. This, I think, was really, really good luck because of how nice it is, but hey, we might get that luck again in the future, so I will give this another go at some point. I'm not buying boxed N64 games constantly, but when I do next time, we'll give it a whirl. And yeah, it does make me question what they're kind of, do they draw a line anywhere? You know, when the person traded this in, for instance, it was obviously deemed acceptable enough condition, which, you know, I quite agree with, but at what point do they decide that the condition is not good enough? And does that process happen when the customer trades it in? But what if an employee takes in a game that they think is good condition? Is it then made available straight away as part of the stock that's displayed on their website and sent out from an individual shop? You know, where does the quality control come in? That's what I'm trying to say. They must have their guidelines and stuff, but we'll just keep plugging away, give it a go, and yeah, if any of you guys have particular experiences with boxed N64 or Super Nintendo games from CEX in the UK, I'd be really actually quite interested to hear your stories, so leave them in the comments below, and hope you've enjoyed this quick little upload, folks, and I'll see you all in the next video. I'm going to now put these on my shelf.